Combustion, an important survival tool. Hey campers, George here, back in the man cave. This time we're talking about the 10 cc's again, about number 2, and that would be combustion. Very important, something everybody should be aware of, and there's just more to it than starting a fire. There's all sorts of things involved in it. I'm putting together my little fire starter kits that I carry in my possibles pouch. Let's go outside in the South 40 and practice some arson. Always a good time. Let's go. So what I'm going to show you here are probably the most popular ones out there that people use to start a fire. Things like a ferrocerium rod is probably the most popular. Lighter, matches, simple things like that will get you through any bad situation. Obviously a lighter and matches in a really wet condition can be a problem. There are other options out there. Magnesium is a good one. A lot of people carry a magnesium rod if you need to know how to use a bow drill. There are a lot of different ways to start a fire. Something to consider is that you need good tinder, something to get the fire going. And you need to be able to light something that is going to stay alight long enough for you to be able to get the fire going. Before even trying to start a fire, you need to have the fire prepped. And you're going to need to be able to light something to put in the fire to get it going. Most common would be a feather stick and some sort of tinder. Now there are a lot of options. Dry leaves, dry grass, you can have your own tinder. I personally like to take the lint from my dryer and mix it with some petroleum jelly that you can buy in any store, just enough to make a little ball, and the petroleum jelly really keeps the flame going, and it's very easy to light. Everybody has their own, but you need to be able to find other ways to do it. Something that you can find just about anywhere. And in your possibles pouch, you should have some option. So these are my options here for starting a fire, and that's this guy here. And this is store-bought. You can buy these in packs online, pre-made fire starters, and they light real easy. And you can use this to light a fire. They will burn quite a lot. Don't just light them like that, break them up and use a piece to save them if you need to. Here I have some dryer lint that I made myself. I just got some lint from the dryer and rolled it in some petroleum jelly. Same thing as this, except it's homemade. These tend to burn a little bit longer than other stuff that you're going to have available to you in the wild. You need to be able to prep something you can light that'll stay alight pretty easily to get your fire going. Don't rely on these to get your fire going. Make sure you can get a good piece of wood burning. Duct tape. I carry duct tape in my possibles pouch. This will start with a lighter. You can light this up and it burns. It's a nasty burn. It's kind of smoky and whatever, but it'll get a fire going. And there's lots of options out there, lots of things to burn. Here's some dry grass just lying around. Just make that, squeeze it up, crush it up a little bit, and you've got something to burn with. This will burn extremely fast. You either got to get it into the fire and get your fire going really quickly, or use this to light something like a feather stick that'll burn a little bit longer and give you more chance to get the fire going. That's why prepping your fire is kind of important. There's different ways to do it. For me, these I know I can use. I've practiced with them and they work for me. I'm going to make a fire stick because I want to show you that and how well a fire stick will work if you have something that doesn't burn very long, such as dry grass. So let's do that. And part of prepping the fire is processing the wood, and you want to process it down into a small piece that you can easily start and make feather sticks from and things like that. I just have a piece of wood here that was in my fire pit there, and obviously you've got to have a fairly good sharp solid knife. Right now I'm using this Gerber Freeman guide, and what you're going to do is you want to make feathers, or what we call feathers, on a piece of wood so that you can use that to light the fire once you have a flame going. And there's a very simple feather, not a very good one, but it will ignite this fairly easy, especially the small pieces will burn quicker and get lit a lot easier. So ideally you want a more fluffed up one. By doing this, and you can see I'm turning the wood as I do it, it's easier to feather a sharp edge than a flat piece, and you can get a nice thick feather like that, and that'll burn pretty good, give you enough time to get a fire going. And just about any wood you can do that with. Some is harder than other. Find yourself some soft dry wood, you can make a really nice feather. Don't make one, make a couple. Personally for me, when I'm out camping and things like that, and I'm not in an uncomfortable situation wherever I may be in a campground or whatever, I like to use a ferrocerium rod. It's nice and it's funny and easy to use, and if it takes me a little longer, it's not a problem. However, if you're in a bad situation, go to your fastest and easiest to use. And for me, it'll either be a big lighter or some matches. They're quick, they work fast, and can get you out of trouble real quick. I'm going to go to the lighter quickly. That'll be my first option. I just want to show you. And I'm going to use some dry grass that I had there. And here I have the dry grass, and simply I have my lighter. Now I can bypass this whole thing and probably start this wood with a lighter. It's as simple as that. That was feathered from the stick, just showing you how quickly and easily the feathers start. You can use a match, and sometimes they work. In a windy situation, they're a little bit more difficult, but once again, I can start a feather stick with it. To start the grass, what you want to do is crush it up, get those pieces nice and small and compact together like that. And then you're going to use a match or a lighter, and it will burn very quick. A lighter, how quickly grass burns. And you can see it lit very easily. Get it going like that, and you can see how quickly the grass burns. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to get this onto your fire, and you got to keep it growing. It's not ideal, but it will have a flame. Trying to start it with a ferrocerium rod might be an issue, but let's give it a try. Okay, I got a flame out of the ferrocerium rod. People make the mistake with a ferrocerium rod of pushing down too hard. You really don't need to. And the quicker you can strike it, the more sparks you're going to get onto the thing. And the best way to do it is place your ferrocerium rod right on the grass like that, and just quickly back and forth. Like that. I got a lot of spark out of that. You can see how quickly the grass will burn out, and it's not ideal, but you do have a flame. The next thing I wanted to show you is my little piece of lint from my dryer. Not being very accurate with it, if you place it down and hold it there and do it, what you're going to end up doing is that you're knocking this away. The way to get around that, hold the knife right above where you want it and pull your magnesium rod back, or your ferrocerium rod back towards you. Let me see if I can show you this here. Hopefully you're going to be able to see this. I'm resting my hand and keeping it solid while putting the ferrocerium rod on the blade and pulling back. Now the advantage to that is I'm not going to knock that away, and you can see I have less chance of knocking this away. You'll find yourself chasing it all over the place, and it's never a good time. So that's something to remember. Instead of striking this way, pull the rod back that way. This has been sitting in my bag for a while. It's probably dried out, but we'll give it a go. It's kind of starting. Let me see if I can find a better piece. Put that down. And we got a flame. And that'll burn for quite a while. That's the nice thing about the petroleum, is that it'll burn and give you a good flame for quite a while. Oh, I did want to show you the feather stick, so I'm going to do that right now on that flame. Here's my feather stick. You can see how well a feather stick burns, and that's a good way to start a fire. So there's some just quick methods of starting a fire. These are the things I typically have on me in my possibles pouch, and if with a little bit of imagination you can get any fire going, as long as you have something that can get you a spark or a flame. Ferrocerium rod, a lighter, box of matches. And I can't stress this enough. This should be, in an emergency situation, your go-to device. Before you go out, make sure it has gas in it. Make sure that your tinder, just like I had that oops there, where the tinder I was trying to light was already dried out. The squirrels are here. He's not even bothered about the fact I'm about to burn his house to the ground. Kidding. That's my fire pit. His house is in the tree over there. It's things to keep in mind. Remember, if you're in a wet situation, to build a fire, make a wooden platform. Get some sticks down on top of the wet soil that you're going to be making your fire on, and build the fire on top of that. Be prepared. Make sure your fire is ready. Get some feather sticks, some good tinder before you even try and start. You're going to use dry grass or anything like that, leaves or whatever. Make sure you have at least some sort of feather stick or something you can burn that'll burn a little bit longer to get the fire going. Oh, don't forget your duct tape. And when making fire, one thing is never leave a fire unattended. You need to keep an eye on it, especially in the outdoors. It could get out of control, and before you know it, you're in trouble again on top of what you were before. Always put it out and make sure it is out. Move around the coals when you think you have it all out, and check for glowing embers. It's important. It doesn't take much. When I look and see on the 10cc's list that the combustion is the number 2, it makes sense to me. To me, it's almost a number 1, but you need the cutting tool. Here's the reasoning behind my thoughts. In winter, it's really cold, and you want to get your body temperature up. And a fire is going to help you do that. It'll keep you warm. You can cook on it. It'll give you light. It'll keep wild animals away. The number 1 reason is, if you can make a fire, it is such a morale booster to know that you have fire that'll keep you warm and keep you safe. The biggest problem people have to deal with in bad situations is losing control, getting overwhelmed. Being able to build a fire is a big morale booster. Will settle you down and give you a chance to do the other things. You'll feel a lot safer. When you're building that fire and you're in the outdoors, make sure you're cleared a safe spot. You don't want the fire getting out of control. Never let it get too big where you can't control it, and get it out safely. So there you have it, campers. Fire, combustion. Without it, we're lost. Not only does it keep us warm, keep us safe, it is really good for your morale. Don't forget that. Don't forget never to leave a fire unmonitored. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. And I'm pretty sure I'll be back again. Probably with another fire. I like making fire. Just saying. Thanks for watching. Bye.